Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJ Trip, and welcome to That's a Shoot, where I talk about the goings on in the weeks in the world of wrestling, where I put over something and I bury something, and then we get the main topic of the show. But first, we got to deal with a couple of breaking news stories happening yesterday. The first one is the of Ric Flair being hospitalized. Um, it was announced by originally by TMZ that he was going into the hospital. It was an emergency um, and everything like that. And then over time, we heard from Conrad Thompson, his son-in-law, that this was actually supposed to be a procedure that was supposed to be done anyway. So this is not an emergency. He's going to be okay. And then we found out that Ric Flair, from Ric Flair's wife, that he's going to make a full recovery and everything is okay. So, um, listen, good news for Ric Flair and his family, and this was a very much shock. I was pretty much all day looking at my Twitter feed and making sure that Ric Flair was going to be okay. So I'm glad he is. I'm glad that he is going to make a full recovery, and I can't wait to see Nate's back on the screen. On a sadder note, WWE superstar, former WWE superstar, I should say, Ashley Massaro passed away yesterday at the age of 39. She was 10 days away from her 40th birthday. Um, she made her debut in WWE in 2005 as a member of the Diva Search, which, if you remember, doing that Diva Search, she I don't know what would you call it, but brain fartedly gave out her real phone number so that the fans could call her. If you vote for me, here's my number. I'll talk to you. And it was it was an amazing thing at the time. But she actually won that deeper search and then became a WWE superstar. She really wanted to try and become a better wrestler. She was wow. I think she might have been the only WWE Diva Search winner that was actually a fan. Most of the women who participated in the WWE Diva Search, or at least the people who won, they were not fans. They were women who were trying to get into acting and thought this would be the way to do it. And you know, it was it was so many. It was like like the very first one. It was Amy Weber, who was on the Howard Stern TV show way back in the day on FX. There was Joy Giovanni, and there was I think Michelle McCool was in that one. Maurice was in that one. So there were so many women who were trying to get WWE, to get to be actors and actresses. But I believe she was really the only real fan that actually won the Diva Search. So and she had many high profile matches over her time in WWE. She even had one at WrestleMania 2023 in a match against Melina. Um, One that it was not received very well. It was not really a good match. Then she had a Playboy Bunny match at WrestleMania 24. Um, and that's because she also posed for Playboy in April 2007. So and then she also, shortly after that, she also filmed Survivor. She went on Survivor China. She was quickly eliminated for that because she just couldn't take it, and she was holding down her team, so she was unfortunately um, eliminated pretty early. But yeah, I mean, this was a massive shock. Um, so. Um, I'm, it was just, it could not believe it. So my thoughts, our thoughts and prayers go out to um, Ashley and her family, in particular her daughter Alexa. So yeah, it's so now to put over and bury. And as always, we start with put over. And the first thing I'm gonna put over is the Rey Cesaro match from Monday Night Raw. That it was incredible. It was incredible. And last week I said that I was talking about how Cesaro was not on television, and I was kind of upset at that. But man, I mean, and this is the reason why, because he came out on TV and him and Ray had an excellent match. He kind of screwed up his Swiss one night, but yeah, I mean it was an incredible match and proving why Cesaro should be on TV, every week, if not wrestling, doing, continuing a program with somebody or doing something, you know, doing something that could lead to something. So, lead something to the next week. If you don't have a program for him, okay, but let him do something in the week. Let him be something. They got this thing with the Miz. I mean, listen, use Bobby Lashley. He's been using Bobby Lashley, but I think Cesaro would be an even better use for Shane McMahon's mid card of evil on Raw. So. But I thought that Reigns Cesaro kicked ass, really, really great. I think some the other things that kicked ass were the Fatal Four Ways. The one, not only the women's on Raw, but the men's on SmackDown. Great, great stuff here by those guys. Um, I'm also very excited that some people are upset that what they did a Fatal Four Way on Raw and they did a Fatal Four Way on SmackDown, but what I'm glad was that it wasn't like a Fatal Four Way um, on each show of the same thing. At least the SmackDown was the men's, at least, and Raw was the women's. So I enjoyed that one a lot better. I enjoyed that thing a lot better. So shout out to, and then Dana Brooke, jumping off the line. This is going to see what is going to happen in these Money in the Bank ladder matches. Dana Brooke, you know, there was a report that WWE have not been happy with the last few Money in the Bank winners, and this year they really want to make both the men's and women's Money in the Bank contract winner either be stars or feel like stars, and that's slightly on them because the Money in the Bank people do, when they get the contract, they do start to lose. So you have to keep you have to keep them winning, keep them strong, so to make them feel like something, you know. So, uh, I don't know. It could be this could be anybody. I'm kind of rooting for Dana Brooke because I like to see her, get some shine. Um, But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? And speaking of that, we're going to. This is not a part of. This is not another put over, but we have to talk about this. Alexa Bliss has not been medically cleared to compete in Money in the Bank, so Nikki Cross will take her place. And on a side note, she's been dealing with concussions since before October. She had to be taken out of the uh, Evolution pay-per-view back in October because she sustained a concussion and it's been really bad, and she has been off and on, an off and on character. That's why they gave her like the moment of bliss so that she could still be on television, you know, and everything like that. But this, you know, I, I don't want to say that she needs to retire because she doesn't, and you know, and as we've seen from Daniel Bryan, you can make a comeback, but I just feel like, you know, they either need to let her completely heal or just let her get in the ring, because she's gotten in the ring and she's wrestled over, she's making a comeback, like at she's wrestled from time to time, but it's almost like this thing where, like, she wrestles once and then has to take time off, and then before she wrestles again. So either let her take as much time as she needs to get fully healthy so that she can wrestle like Daniel Bryan does, and listen, and still you can give her a part-time schedule. You certainly can give her a part-time schedule. She doesn't need to, she doesn't need to wrestle, on house shows. She doesn't need to wrestle on many shows. Maybe every other week or so or something like that. But let it be clear so that when it does happen, you know, she doesn't get, that she's always medically cleared to continue to wrestle. So I feel sorry for her, but she really would be like a great, if she did had to wrestle, she would be a great manager for somebody, male, female, tag team, whatever. She would be a great manager for somebody because she can talk, and so that's my little Lex Bliss side thing. But again, once again, the Fatal 4 Ways were awesome. And speaking of the Fatal 4 Way, my third put over is the Ricochet standing tall, on SmackDown. Him being one of the wild cards, and him coming out while Andrade was trying to, climb up the ladder for the thing, coming out, running down, springboarding onto the ladder, throwing Andrade off, not only holding the briefcase, but taking it with him as he left. I think that was even a lot better. That was a lot better. Because it's one thing to stand on that ladder and go, yes, as a symbolism is that this is going to happen, but he took it with him. And what I really would even like to see is maybe even him come out with it, come out with it, on Sunday. That him say, well, he took the briefcase, from left with England with it. I would like to see that. So I like Ricochet standing tall. As for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, really, I don't have a problem with anybody, holding it. I don't have a problem with anybody holding it. Although I will say this: if Finn Balor were to get it, I think he would need to drop the Intercontinental title. I do, because I kind of feel like him being something is okay, but him being something and something else doesn't necessarily work. I don't know why. Maybe that's my opinion. Is it? Well, it is. It is as my opinion. Maybe you have a different opinion. What to say, but I don't think him being the Intercontinental Champion and Mr. Money in the Bank really works. So I would think that if Finn would win, he would have to drop the Intercontinental title very, very soon, and that may be even better because that could lead up to maybe more and more feuds down the line before Finn Balor would need to cash it in. And now to bury. The first thing we're gonna bury is England booing Roman Reigns. Now he got some cheers. He got a lot of them. Both on Raw and SmackDown. You got a lot of "Let's Go Roman" chants. But definitely when the music hit on both shows, there was some booing. And again, I'm just gonna say this: the fact that he is what March, April. He is 3 months back from, you know, being in remission from cancer. And the fact that you are booing him, I just think that makes you a terrible person. It really is. It makes you a terrible person. It doesn't matter what, storylines they've done since he's come back. It doesn't matter what's happened in the past. I think that WWE are doing it right, and they're making a conscious effort, not other than the Fastlane match, which I understand because one, this was the last pay-per-view, for time that the Shield was going to be on television, with Dean Ambrose leaving and such like that. And two, Seth Rollins is a main event player. He is now the franchise guy of Monday Night Raw. So I guess Steve Wyatt maybe that was a main event, but really they tried to keep him out of that spot since he's come back. They're trying to do right and build him back up to where he will be main eventing, pay-per-views, and he will be, you know, second, third from main event, from the, he'll be the semi-main, he'll be the semi-main, whatever you want to call it, he'll be one of those last three matches on the card. They're trying to build that up, and the fact that you're just booing him. Just because? Why? Just because it's fun? Just because you did it in the past? Fuck you! Really? Fuck you! I mean, I'm not gonna hold my tongue anymore. Fuck you and fuck anybody else who feels like it is right to boo Roman Reigns. Just fuck you. The next thing I'm gonna bury is another Becky Lynch promo, and I know this was like a contract signing, and the contract signing is getting so old that that's something that really needs to change. You want to talk about something that's antiquated? Not only is the rematch clause antiquated, the contract signing is antiquated as hell. It really is, especially when we all know that most contract signings end up with a fight. Like the only one that didn't was Ronda versus was Ronda versus Nikki Bella. And guess what? I thought that was perfect. I thought that was perfect because Ronda Rousey was gonna she didn't need to whoop her ass that night. She was gonna whoop it at Evolution, which she did. So yeah, I thought that was I thought that one was a great contract signing, but it's just I just and this is why I really think she has to lose one of these titles, whether it's to Charlotte Flair, whether it's to Lacey Evans, or whether it's to one of the Money in the Bank contract winner. She has to lose one of these titles on this because I'm sick or tired of her because she goes on both shows, and on one hand, I understand that she's kind of the main star of the women's division while Ronda is out getting pregnant, and so like you kind and with her having both titles, you kind of need her to be on both shows. Although she was not on SmackDown this week, so that proves that theory wrong, right? So she kind of it would. She kind of needs to be on both shows, but you just sit her out there to do promos, and her promos are the same things where she just, it's nothing new. So I'm sick and tired of it. She's got to lose these titles so that when she appears on the show, she's doing something in some type of match or something, or she's doing some type of beat down or something. That's what needs to happen. So I'm just, yeah. And finally, to bury. I'm gonna bury any criticism towards the WWE for finding Lars Sullivan. So, as you may know, there have been some quotes from Lars Sullivan on the message board that have reappeared. It appeared once, and it was quickly swept away. I guess nobody talked about it or nobody noticed it or anything like that. And then it flared back up a couple of weeks ago. So, and there were some, and there were some obviously some hateful stuff said in those quotes, stuff that I obviously do not agree with, condone any of that. And there is a part of me that is I'm not part of bringing back. I don't like it. It's been done in football. We know Josh Allen has some quotes that he said in the past. We had Trey Turner and Josh Hader in Milwaukee said some things that tweeted some things from the past. So there was just a lot of and there's just a lot of those things that come back up to light, you know. But and I'm not a big fan. First of all, I'm not a big fan of doing that. It's why the fuck are you doing that, right? But I'm also not a big fan of just saying that whatever they tweeted, that's who they are now. Because when you are younger, you do things and you say things that when you get older that you know just wouldn't say. I'll give you my opinion. I'll tell you this straight up, right? When I was younger, I would use the F word, the gay slur. I would throw it around like, like Scrooge McDuck throws around pennies. Well, actually, Scrooge McDuck is actually kind of cheap. But like a billionaire would throw around pennies, right? So, but as I got older and I understood more and more about how people felt about that and how I wanted to respect people's feelings and how I wanted to be a better human being, I stopped using it. I stopped using it. I also stopped saying stuff was gay as a euphemism of saying something was stupid. I started saying something was stupid. I stopped using the R word, out of respect for the mentally disabled, mentally handicapped people, and I started using something else. But I've said those things in the past, and I don't, and that doesn't make me a bad person, for using them. I've stopped. I become a better human being for that. I feel like, and I think in these cases, that could happen. I think this could happen to Lars Sullivan. He has said that this is that he's not the person he was in 2008. He's a better person now. He was probably being a dumb, ignorant kid. So I don't think that he's going to deal with something like that. He apparently he talked to people, the members of the New Day, about it, and so you're probably gonna have to talk to Kalisto and probably many others in that thing. If there were any gay things, he's gonna have to talk to any gay superstars in the locker room. So yeah. So he's gonna have to do what he needs to do to to prove that the person that he is now is not that one he is in 2008. But let's get to what I'm burying, and that's the 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 criticism that he's getting fined for this. I think that the WWE is not going to do something where he's going to have to pay the $100,000 all at once. I don't think that. I don't think that, because I think, like a lot of people said, he's probably not making that, in a year. He probably isn't. He's probably making somewhere from 60 to 80,000. He's just, they do get a bump. They get a raise when they get to the main roster. He's been on the main roster for 6 weeks or so. So he's probably not got that received that bump yet. So it probably would be over time that he would have to pay that. Now someone will be asking, well, why is he even getting fined for five things and for saying things in the past? Well, isn't this kind of like what I just talked about, getting upset at him for these words? Well, on one hand, I do see that, but on the other hand, I think that I do feel that the WWE did this for the sponsors. There was a rumor that there were people who went to Snickers and asked them about this. So I think they did this to get rid of Snickers. Just like they changed the Moolah Battle Royal to the Women's Battle Royal. So I just think that they are going to um, they are going to just you know do this, and they're just and they do decided, well, you know we need to make our sponsors happy. We're going to you know fine him. But I think, I'm kind of okay with that. Um, and again, I don't think they're going to just fine him. He's going to get he's going to see, like, he's not going to get a check, because they've taken money. He's not, his wages aren't going to get garnished from this. You know, it'll probably be like $1,000 or something like that. Maybe from his check or something. I'm not sure. Maybe maybe like $200, and over time he will, it'll end up, costing him $100,000. And now to the main topic of this episode. It's the new AEW TV deal that was just announced this week. They're going to be on TNT. Is going to start in the fall. It's going to be on Tuesday nights. And a lot of people are very, very excited for this because they are very disenfranchised with WWE right now. Here's my feelings about this. Even though I see some of the very, very obvious flaws with WWE, I'm not disenfranchised with the product. I am not. I am a fan. That's what a fan is. A fan is a fan. Um, and I am not disenfranchised, and I am not. I am not wanting another wrestling organization on television. You know, and really, I'm not. I really not. It should just be WWE's world, but unfortunately, it's not. And and I know Lance Storm, he made something that if you think this is, if you want one organization to fail, then then you are, then you should be, then you're an idiot. Well, no, I don't want AEW to fail, but I don't want them on television. I don't want them on television. The fact that they are it kind of frustrates me. It really is. Um, because I do think that WWE gets a bad rap, and I do think we live in a world today where nobody is satisfied with anything. Nobody can be satisfied with anything. Everybody, everybody's got something to say. You know, everybody is upset at something. You can't just say, "Ah, well, listen, it's I didn't like that, but it's still good." No, no, no. I didn't like that. It just sucked. It sucked. Well, no, that's not how it is. And I don't know how this world, I don't know where in the world this turned, but it was just awful, 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 awful. So AED has a new deal, new TV deal, and they talked about that there were going to be like unscripted promos. This was going to be more of not a drama, but more of a athleticism, entertainment type of thing. They were going to do some type of league, type of thing. All things that could be interesting. And listen, don't get me wrong. I'm going to watch the first couple of weeks of AEW. And I'll tell you this. I watched, for the longest time, I watched when Impact was on Spike. I watched Impact. Every Thursday night, I watched Impact. I did. As much as I could. I would flip back and forth from college football during the fall and then basketball and things like that. But and other shows and things like that. But yeah, for the most part, I watched Impact every week. For the most part, because I like wrestling. So who knows? But I have the feeling that this is something where that this and I'm not sure that Cody and the Young Bucks are saying this, but the fans are saying this, that they want this with this happening. They want this to be a Monday Night Wars type of thing, where it's competition to put each other out of business, and that's not something that I want. That's not something that I want, and I get the feeling that that's what the fans are going to do. I think these fans are just going to they're so disenfranchised with WWE that they're going to try to put WWE out of business by just watching AEW, whether it's good or not. And so yeah, I don't want this. So to be honest with you, I am rooting for this. I'm not rooting for the company to fail, but I'm rooting for this television stuff to fail, and hopefully they won't be on TV for very long. Maybe just a couple of maybe just maybe a year or two. Just kind of like just like Impact. How Impact was on Spike TV for 3 or 4 years, and then it was relegated to, it was relegated to Pop TV and Destination TV, and now you can't find the fucking thing. So maybe that's like AEW. AEW would be on TNT for a year or two, and then TNT would say, "Listen, you guys are just fucking up, so no more, no more." And then they'll go off and do their own thing, and they can do it on YouTube. That's probably what's happening. A lot of people, a lot of wrestling organizations put their stuff on YouTube. So that's what they would probably do next. They probably would do YouTube or Twitch, something like that. Impact does some stuff on Twitch. They probably would do that, but get them off of TV totally. So I will be watching, and maybe I'll and who knows, maybe I'll have to maybe maybe next year this time I'll be eating my words and saying, AEW was the best. AEW was the best thing to happen to professional wrestling, and maybe I'll be eating my words about that. But at this point, and my mind would be changed. I'm allowed to change my mind. But at this point, I am rooting for them to fail on television. All right, y'all, post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. What do you guys think of all my putovers? What do you guys think about my berries? And of course, what do you guys think about the AEW TV deal? And my opinions on that. What do you want? Do you guys feel that way? Are you guys looking for AEW to put WWE out of business? Do you want or do you want AEW to have to force WWE to change some of the things that they do and make them a better product, so that you just have great wrestling all around? Are Are you like me, where you're like, I'm not big on AEW, but I will from afar see what is happening. I will try and I'll give it a shot. Let me know down in the comment section. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy AJ Trip signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there, and I am out.